Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the next video series for the German Diplomatic Disaster series. To do a quick recap, by November of 1939, the Italians had joined the West. So definitely a different war than what you're used to seeing. We are going into June here, and we had already rolled the weather, so we knew the weather was going to be poor everywhere. I had rolled terrible. So I made a huge in-gain. I mean, May, fair weather turn, I took out both the Netherlands and Belgium. I managed to knock off 2 German units, or French units, I believe. Yeah, I knocked down 2 French units. Unfortunately, the British are going to be able to build another airplane this turn, but I was thinking, wow, this isn't that bad. If I get a fair weather turn in June, I can blow up some more French armies and make holes that they can't, patch. And then I rolled rain, so only assaults. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. I should pop up my boxes for everybody. So there was no more declarations of war. The economy phase, we're just going to zip right through that. See everything move. This was a mistake on our part. The French should have only had 14, not 16, because I captured Lille, and I didn't realize it. And also, can make a difference in a game when you miss things like that. Strategic warfare, he was at 0, and I was at 0 because I don't have Norway. But I went ahead and threw my submarines right away to try and make a dent in the British production. He rolled a 3, and I rolled a 1. But he was I rolled a 3, he rolled a 1, but he was halved, so it was kind of a waste of my thing. But I pushed their factory loss marker up, and then 3 turns for my subs to come back. We go on into strategic movement. I didn't have any. He moved unit over to get this out of the way. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because this is kind of a constricted front. He moved this guy into there. He wanted to try and move into this space here, and I had to point out that my zones of control prevent that. So, and he didn't do anything with the Soviets. So I went into German operations. I didn't have a whole lot I could do. So I tried to get my... Unfortunately, in poor weather, it's just a math game. So I wanted the French Air Force out of combat altogether. Then I activated these 3 units, putting assault markers down. So the primary was the tank, and he had 2 buddies, and then -1 for the weather. We went to... He started off at +1. We're going to go to combat commitment. He's not really getting the hang of combat commitment, but... So I went ahead and threw the airplane in to give me the +5 to +1. For me, it was like really important. I was hoping to get a DD here. That would have been the best of all worlds. But I only rolled a 1, so I got a grand total of 6. And he rolled a 3 with only +1. If he'd have thrown his tanks in, he would have held his ground. But with only a +1, he's a 4, so that forces him to retreat, so he has to go back to Calais. And I choose not to take the hex after combat. And then I move... I moved the 2nd Panzer into here, declare an assault. And then I moved 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to attack Calais, and there's another assault. So now I think I'm only a +1. Playing games with the assault markers. And I didn't resolve it right away. I went ahead and moved this infantry up here, and I declared an assault there. And that... Then I moved this garrison unit, moves in to make that fort go away. So I was 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, just to make him have to think. And I used a garrison rather than the infantry because if the garrison dies, I don't lose a will point. So I'm not too worried about the garrison at this point. My zones of control stop any deep penetrations, unless he wants to come out of his Maginot forts, which is kind of what I want him to do, but he's not going to do that. So then we're... I think I was attacking over in Calais. No, I attacked here across the river to try and push him back behind, and he decided to play his tanks marker there. So it was +3 to +2. I rolled a 7. He rolled a 4 + 2 is a 6. So he held me off. And then we went after the guy in Calais. I'm only a net +2 to his +1. I only rolled a 4 + 2, which is 6. And he rolled a 6. So he held out in Calais. It would have been nice to win one of those combats to try and, the second pair of combats. Either push him back across the river or, push him out of Calais. Those would have been nice, but it didn't happen. So I said, I'm done. He decided to pull the Frenchman out and put him over here next to Dijon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He started thinking he could do an assault, but he didn't have the movement points because it costs 2 to attack a guy in peril weather. And then he put the Western Desert Force from Le Havre into Paris. So British are defending Paris. And then they all decided to attack the 2nd Infantry. He started to activate him and realized that he, it wouldn't matter. So here he's putting in the airplane. I think we're adding up here 3, 4, 5. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you only get +1s in poor weather. So it's +5 and then it's -1 for the weather. So it's +4 to my +2. He rolled a 9 and I matched him just kind of like he did when he was attacking me. So, 9 to 8, nothing happened. So. And then he came down here and started playing games with the battalions. Came here and attacked there. And then he thought about it and said, why am I doing that? I can't. And so he just said, I'm done. Did his sorties on his fleets to get me. He's got Italian fleets and French fleets and British fleets all supplying. He never has to worry about anything. I don't know why he put out his naval evacuation marker for some reason. I'm not sure what we were doing here. Oh, I think I'm attacking him with my in the supply phase. I don't know why he has a naval marker out there though. But he got his supply. It didn't matter. Fighter unit. And now we're doing replenishment. I spent my 9 to get replenished. And that leaves me... Let's see, I spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I spent 10, started at 26. Because I'm 14 minus 1. So I'm at 16. And there we go. Now I have 6 left. And he does his replenishments. Western production. He takes 3 off the British to took care of his Italians down here. Blocking up things there. Sorry about that. So he's basically just, getting his sorties back just like I did. And I believe he managed to keep himself. Yeah, he still had points left for the British to do their thing. Upgrades. I did go ahead and spend 1 in my mobilization phase to build another garrison. And the West spent his 3 to go get his airplane, and then the French built their 2 infantry units, and they had to think about where were they going to put them, and they just decided to stick them in Le Havre and Brest. Sort of long-term defenses there. And then he built he gets Russian units when he conquers, gets the area, sees things, and that's what he tends to do. Is he builds the guy in there, or he built 1 in Brest because he could, and 1 in Lvov because he could. I mean, it's just he's not really worried about the Russian defensive positions at this point because I don't have anything really over there to do anything. But and he's like, well, I'll have plenty of time to think about it, and if I'd had a little bit of luck, I might have built a couple infantry over there and then just come at him in July of 1940 just to put the skewer in him and go on a short fuse. But things were not going well. If I'd had a June fair weather turn and it had blown up the French and looked like I was going to conquer them in July no matter what, I would have done that. But that didn't work out that way. So we are. Did we pull? I'm trying to figure out if we're actually pulling here. No, this is us just looking at the cup to see what's in there. And for the Axis, I had 2 pros, 2 political successes, failure, area seized, and a no event. So I was like, that's pretty good odds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7. A little over 50% chance of a success. So it looked like a good idea to me. Paid my 5, pulled it, got myself a pro Axis marker. So yay, Germany! And I have no idea what I did with it. 3640. Let's go find 3640, kids. Oh, I think I activated Romania. Yes. Here I activated Romania. That's what I did. I said, enough of that. I need to activate Romania. And then we went back to, I don't know what we were doing there. We went on. So I missed a bunch of stuff here. I think he went off and just started pulling stuff out of the cup before I could get my Romanians set. So you don't see that part. There we go. So, I'm trying to set up my Romanians, and then he's just pulling out of the cup and ended up pulling a couple of no events, I think. Yeah, he pulled a no event, and he pulled a pro Axis marker, right? So he took away one of my successes. So, cup's getting kind of thin right now. And then I set up my Romanians. He really should have waited till I had set up my Romanians, but that happens. We get excited and we start getting ahead of ourselves. And now he's just, getting his stuff off the turn tracks that he used because there's nothing really coming in June. And we moved into July. So we know it's going to be fair. So we skip right on through that and we go on. I rolled just for kicks, but it's going to be fair no matter what I roll. And here's us just setting up the things to, we're to the thing here. Again, I have the French at 16. They should be at 14. I think we did correct this at the end of the turn this time, that we brought him down 2, because he should be starting at 14 because I own Lil. I just kept missing it. And so we're both at 0. Nobody has anything to play, so we just rolled. I rolled a 5, or he rolled a 5 because he gets ahead of me all the time. He rolled a 5, I rolled a 1. So we basically swapped positions. I lost 1, he gained 1. Went to strategic movement, and I moved the guy in Stuttgart out here because I was worried about some kind of Italian minor breakthrough, because it's going to be fair weather, and I wanted to have somebody to back them up. And he just didn't do a strategic move. Oh, no, he did not. This is me. We're in Axis Operations, and I decided that I had a chance to possibly blow up some French armies if I set this up right. So I put it there so I could, there. Because I wanted to be able to get all the way to Paris and I'm trying to take out these 3 French armies just across the Seine, the Marne and the Seine between them. If I can do that, and maybe even chip this guy over here, I might have a chance of, really making a huge hole that I can then exploit later. In retrospect, I probably should have just gone after the BEF and the guys in Calais and just open up my supply lines along the seacoast there, but yeah, you got to do it one way or the other, and I decided that I want to just kill French armies. At least that's my hope. So now I'm going after him in with an airplane, because I'm +4 sortie, -4 for sorties, +2 for German, +1 for the surprise attack marker, so I'm only -1 to his -4. And I rolled a 4, -1, so it's a 3. And of course, he rolled a 5, but -4 makes him maybe a 1. A 3 to a 1 is a 2 for 1, so I finally got one of those. And I had to point out to him I was doing the guy in the farther south, because I have planes that can reach here. And then I used this airplane in Dusseldorf to go after the guy in Metz, and this time I missed. And so then I finished him off with the guy way up in the north. So I only had 3 air sorties for this whole offensive thing instead of 4. I was hoping to have, well, yeah, probably 4. But, so I activated this infantry, and in retrospect, it was wrong infantry to activate. I should have probably activated the 2nd infantry first to get it out of in front of Paris, but I didn't, so I used this one. And we go in at doing I'm starting off at +2 for German, +1 for the surprise, and he's starting off at +1. And I think we go to combat commitment. Again, I'm not sure that he keeps up with me on this a lot of times. Neither one of us committed. I ran a grand total of 5, and he rolled a 7, which was not enough. 5 to 7 is not quite enough. I still have a diamond. So I spend 2 more points. We go at it again. So I'm down to 4 movement points. Combat commitment. We did not. This time I rolled a 5 + 3 for an 8. And he rolled a 3 + 1 is a 4, so that's a retreat. So he had to go back across the river. And I looked at it and I said, if I fail that attack, I can't use my armor to do anything. So it was like, it can't do this. So I have to try and do it a different way, use different units. So I just moved him out of the way. Now I still had like 4 movement points left, and I just moved him into Belgium. What I should have done is I should have moved him all the way around and put him there. Would have been a better move, but I didn't. Now I moved the tank down, so that's 2, and then 3, 4, 5 to get across. Starting off at +4 to his +1. We go to combat commitment. And I said, I really want to break this river line. So we did. Both committed. So his tank marker will come out someday. There it is. And I rolled a 3 + 6 for a 9, and he rolled 6 + 3 for a 9, so nothing happened there. So I attacked again. This was going south in a hurry. So now it's a 5 + 6 is an 11 to a 6, which was just a retreat. Went ahead and took the hex because I wanted to try and clear out some of this infantry. I'm trying to kill infantry here. Remember, that's the plan. +5 to +1. He rolled a 4 + 1. I rolled an 11, which was just a retreat. 11 to 5. Actually, he should have been DD'd. There he is. But I did not take the hex because I wanted to move an infantry unit in like that. Right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 2 movement points left. And I attacked at him at +2 to his -1. Managed to roll a 7, but he got a 4, which just forced him to retreat. And I'm like, I'm not sticking myself out there. I'll be out of supply. So then I went ahead and attacked the infantry unit next to me. +3 to +1. Got a 6 to a 2. And I wasn't really thinking too clearly here. I should not have taken that hex. I thought about it and I said, what the heck, I'm going to take a chance, go into low supply and try and take the hex. And that turns... And then I moved here because I was thinking I could, bust something open here. And he rolled a 2. I managed to roll an 8, so he got flipped and retreated. And he's trying to think of where to go, and he decided to go in the city. So I decided I'm going to go take Dijon because then I'm cutting off this armies over here, even if I'm out of supply. So I ran a grand total of 4, but he was, a 1. So he was forced to retreat. I took it. His airplane flies away. And I probably shouldn't have. I was getting a little ambitious here. And that was probably a big mistake. Then I come around here to blow up the Paris. Or so I thought. So I got basically 2 attacks on Paris. Starting off at +4, 5. +4 net. I think we committed here. I think we combat committed here. This is an air combat, I think. No? I think we were getting messed up with who should be on what pluses. We finally got it figured out, I think. So then fingers are getting tired here. So then we go forward with this attack. So I was 4, +1 is 5, +2 is 7, -1 is +6. And I believe he gets all the way up to +5. Yes. So, and I rolled a 10. He rolled a 9 net. So all that thunder for nothing. Then I'm at +4, and he threw in his airplane to be +3. I rolled a 5, he rolled a 4. So absolutely nothing happened in the Paris front. So this entire offensive marker, surprise attack marker, has really done like next to nothing when you think about it. So we went to +1 to +1. I rolled a 5 + 1 is a 6. He rolled a 2 + 1 is a 3. And I actually managed to take Calais on a low odds attack. Lowers him down by 2 will points. Then I attacked him again. I rolled a 6, he rolled a 7. So that just sort of ended that. And I put the Nor infantry there. Thought about it and said, no, maybe I need to do something else. I moved this garrison around to hold the Maginot guy, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8 for one attack on, hoping for a ridiculously lucky split at +2 to +1. Oh, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I should have been able to attack. I don't know why I didn't attack. So I was attacking the BEF because he had, just trying to loosen things up. And basically nothing happened there, so we were done with the Germans. And then I had to put low supply on 2 units, and that's going to be a problem. Now, with it being fair weather, the Italians decide to come after the rail line hex. He started off at +1. He was doing assault, so he had +1 for a buddy, because he's using both of these guys. And then 2, 4. So he's at +5, but then he's -2. So it's +3 to +2. He rolled a 1. I rolled a 6. That ended that. And then I think he goes over there, and this comes out at... he's 3 -2, so he's +1 to +2. And he rolls a 7, and I rolled a 7, so that didn't do anything. And now he's... moves up this guy. Called an assault on Dijon. Moved this guy to go after the low supply guy. We both rolled 6s. This is the beginning of his die rolls. This is the French army at its best. There's 1 6. He tried to move away, and I said, no, you're stuck. So then the British attacked. What the hell was that? And they started off at 0, and then they throw in an airplane, I believe. Oh, no, they went after him with 0 and rolled a 6, and I rolled a 5. So I stopped him. And then he went in this time, again, with not throwing in any airplanes. I don't understand why he's not using up the British Air Force. But so it was 6 to 0, and I rolled another 5. So he's rolled 3 6s. I've rolled a 6 and 2 5s. Talk about Vassal being stuck in a rut with high numbers. We were like, what the heck is this? So then because he's got 10 movement points, so he's going to attack him a 3rd time. This time he threw in the fighter. So he got up to +2. He rolled a 6 + 2, which is an 8. I rolled a 5, which is just enough to miss, so I ended up being flipped. Which is what he wanted to see, because now I'm -2. And now the French come at me at 0 to -2. rolls a 4. I rolled a 6 minus 2 is a 4. So he goes, attacks me again. He got a 2. And a 6 minus 2, which is a 4. And then he activated this army here. To attack into Dijon. He rolled a 6, and I rolled a 1. So I was just gone. 1 die roll. So finally I couldn't keep up with his die rolls, but he's rolled with one attack in, I don't know how many ever 6s, but it was like all 6s and 1, 2. And you're like, wow. One, two, three, 4, 5. It was actually 4, 5. And then 6, 7, 8. He had one more attack at 0 to minus 2, and he rolled another 6, and I couldn't keep up. So, bye-bye a second German army. I've lost 2 willpower with the... I used to be at 53, now I'm at 51. And it's just a nightmare. It's just getting worse for the Germans. And he moved... He thought about moving that guy. He couldn't quite get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He couldn't quite get to where he wanted to get on the scene. I'm not sure where that guy came from. 3318. That was this guy. Where did the 5th come from? 3226. 32. Doesn't make any sense. 3216. Oh yeah, that was the guy he declared an assault with. And I pointed out to him that because he declared an assault when there was a unit, he would just basically get a free move into Dijon. So he took the guy in the mountains at 3318, put him on the sign there to surround this armored unit, and hopefully get him out of supply next turn. So I'm way down on units. When I attacked with the Nor unit against the BEF, I think I got flipped. I mean, just things were not going well for me. He moved that guy away so he would be in Le Havre. And I think that we're done now. Now he's doing his supply. And he didn't do anything with the Soviets. So now we got to access replacements. I used to be on the 4. I used to have 14. Now I have 5. Which is enough to bring down all my fighters. And then he went to replacements phase here. And this is where we figured out that he didn't actually have these 2 points that he used for Le Havre and Brest, and I think we retconned it shortly hereafter. I know we do it before the next turn. I went to diplomacy phase, and I went ahead and spent my 5 trying to get a decent shot here. And of course, you know, I pulled the area seized. And so the Russians will go and why am I playing with? Trying to figure out what's going on here. So I believe he took. Yes. He went ahead and took Sweden. And then we went into the west. Of course, he pulled a political success. I mean, talk about diplomatic disaster. I don't think it could go much worse for the Germans. I don't even know what he did. Oh, no, we were just pulling that out. 2 political successes and a political failure. That's what he saw that was in there. It was just him pulling out the cup. So then he went ahead and pulled, got the political success, and put the pro marker in Spain. So now he's, getting allies in the Iberian Peninsula and whatnot. We went into the Soviet phase, and he put an area seized and a no event back in because he wanted to get his last guy out there. We go into the victory check phase. I got my stuff moved into mobilization. He got to build an eliminated army from the previous turn, or puts his eliminated from the thing he just got into mobilization. And Germans get their airdrop marker back, yay. France and UK get their tanks and battalions. We move into August of 1940. I was putting control markers down there. And that was the end of the log file. It wasn't until after the fact that we figured out that he didn't have the 2 points to do this with the French. And so he flipped them back over before we started the next game. So, lost 2 German armies, managed to give the Russians another territory, and the British now have possibility of Spain being ready to pounce on the Germans as soon as they conquer. If they ever conquer France, Spain could be in the war. It's just everything seems to be rolling completely against the Germans here. And there's not a lot I can do about it. I mean, it's just a matter of dice rolls. I had what I thought was a fairly good plan of trying to eliminate 2 or 3 French armies here along the Marne-Seine alleyway. I don't know what you'd call it. I thought if I could get some of those armies and be set up to just pop across the Seine, take Dijon, and either run to the south or encircle Paris and push the British out that way, that, I'd be able to take out France without too much trouble. Now, things don't look so good. So, once again, I'm Jun40. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button so these videos will stay up on YouTube's radar as something to be kept. And we will be back with the next, I think it's the rest of the summer of 1940. I think we played both turns in the next video. I'll have to double check on the vlog. But until we see you again, stay safe and bye-bye.